really haven't had a lot of stuff to do lately. You know, work-wise, truth movement-wise. While setting up everything down this bunker. But it's kind of good because it's given me time to absorb the change in the zeitgeist that's been happening over the past 15 years I've been gone. And it really kind of gave me the opportunity to have a view shift, to move the window. And what I noticed is that back in the day, there weren't as many people waking up. It was very, very slow. It was discouraging. We were still making the land, clearing the fields, so then they could be fertile and grow and multiply. Like Jesus said, can't just throw seed into a bunch of weeds and expect it to grow anything that's worthwhile. You gotta clear the field first. And while you're clearing the field, you don't see any results. But coming back and seeing that the bounty has finally arrived and that good fruit is coming out of everyone's work. Friends from the 90s and 80s, all the people that set up the bedrock of the information debunking the good nature of government, the good nature of one world government, that facade, building up the bedrock to make a case to prove that they don't care about us. But some things still disturb me. Like the Occupy movement, like 5 years ago and stuff, during the recession. They wanted to pit the 1% against the 99%. That's how they broke down the numbers. But that's not the way the numbers work. It's not the 1%. It's not the 1%. It's not your family doctor. It's not your local union banking CEO or your local credit union CEO. It's not the small business owner. It's not the guy managing the factory. It's not these people. It's not the 1%. The love of globalism and the willingness to implement it goes across class lines, just like the love of freedom and the wanting to establish freedom goes across class lines. In the American Revolution, it was the 3%. We were the 3%. And then you had the other percent that was on the Tory side, and then the rest just didn't care. Except for when this new head-to-head comes, if we don't stop it in time, it's going to be the 3% versus the 0.01% versus the slave armies and the ones being decimated in the death camps. But, nonetheless, it was the 3%. And it was not the top or the bottom economic class 3%. It was just the 3% that were awakened, that loved humanity, that cared about the next generations. They cared about dismantling the slavery man was under since the beginning. That's the 3%. 3% of people care about those things. And it took the colonists to reach 3% to win their freedom, to establish the first free country in the world. And we're getting to 3%. I feel it. And we have them outnumbered. We have them outsmarted. That's a fact. But we don't have the morale yet. We don't understand how powerful we are. If everyone realized how many people are awake, how many people are awakening, and you realize these people are just 0.00000 nothing. They're nothing. It's a handful of people. We have them outmanned. It's just a fact. And we can stop this. What you need first... I'm sorry, I don't mean to not include myself in this. What we need first is to get our confidence up. To become stronger. To become better. To develop ourselves. Develop our networks. Develop the communities around us. Because even though just a small amount of people, once we get them going, they're not going to stop until every last resource they have has been completely consumed in their resistance to us. And it's going to drain us too. It's going to drain us physically, socially, economically. But this is a long game. And they'll run out of resources first. They won't have the means to keep their scheme going. And that's the way how all this stuff stops. You know, I let myself get a little bit out of shape. You can eat a lot of crap when you're in hiding. And now I got a nice room down here in this bunker. I've been putting in weights. Starting to work out. Get my confidence up. Get ready. I already spent time getting smarter. I've gotten smarter. I got this down to a T. We don't need any more ammunition to prove these people are scum. What we need now, since we have won the Infowar, is we gotta win the resource war, the confidence war, and the strength war. We got to get ahead of them. You gotta be ahead of the competition. And we're getting there. Every second that passes, we're only getting stronger. They're already burning up their resources, trying to diminish our growth. It's like, I don't even know how to put it. They're already eating themselves to death before the fight even starts. Before the weigh-in even happens. It's like a boxer who, instead of working out before the fight, for the weigh-in, just keeps on purging himself and expelling nutrients, thinking if he's the first to get down to the weight class for the weigh-in, he's gonna win the fight. That's not how it works. And that just shows how comfortable they are with the resources they've had. They're so used to having resources to burn through that they think when they start burning through these things that they're going to turn around and there's still going to be the same amount of resources. But they're already draining themselves. The globalist till already has a hole in it. And every drop of water coming out of that till is being used to water the fruit of freedom. It's their own destruction. Their destruction feeds our growth. You know, I think to encourage myself to get active in everything, I think every video or every other video, I'm just gonna work out through the whole thing. Because there's not enough time to just focus on one thing anymore. For others, they still have to. But it's time for me to multitask. It's time for a lot of you people that are on a high enough level to do the same. We gotta jam as much development in as densely packed a period of time as possible, so then we can jump and get ready to go at peak performance anytime we need to. Are you ready? The doors are open. It's time for us to get out of the locker room. It's time for us to storm the field. It's time for us to enact the game plan and finish it through. And by the time the game's over, there won't be a globalist in sight. This is Tuck Buckford, getting swole and signing out.